Stop. If you're trying to open a US LLC without an SSN, you're hitting walls on every form, and here's the exact workaround that works in 2026. Here's the problem. Every bank and state form asks for a social security number. Apply for an ITIN through Form W-7 with the IRS. Processing takes 7 to 11 weeks in 2026. Use an EIN as your tax ID instead. You can get one in 24 hours without ever touching an SSN. This matters because 43% of new US LLCs in 2026 are owned by non-US residents who don't have a social security number. Here's the real scenario. A founder in Brazil wants to open a Delaware LLC to run a SaaS business. Every online formation tool asks for an SSN at checkout. She stops, searches Reddit, finds 10 conflicting answers, and wastes 3 weeks. The IRS doesn't require an SSN to form an LLC or get an EIN. You need an ITIN or you skip it entirely and use your EIN. This is exactly why we built Bastion Formations, to handle non-resident LLC setup without the SSN runaround. Most people fail here. They assume you must have a social security number to open any US company. That's false. The IRS lets you form an LLC and apply for an EIN using Form SS4 with your foreign passport, an individual taxpayer identification number, or even with no US tax ID at all if you're a single-member LLC with no US-sourced income. The confusion comes from banks. Banks often ask for an SSN to open a business account, but formation itself never requires one. Step 1. Pick your state. Wyoming, Delaware, and New Mexico are the top 3 for non-US founders in 2026. Wyoming charges a $100 state filing fee plus $62 annual report. Bastion Formations does the full Wyoming LLC formation, EIN application, and registered agent service for $249. You don't need an SSN for any part of that process. We file with your passport copy and foreign address. Step 2. Get your EIN. This is important. The IRS issues your employer identification number using Form SS4. You can apply online if you have an SSN or ITIN, or you can fax the form with your foreign passport. Bastion Formations handles the EIN application for non-residents in 24 to 48 hours. Most DIY filers wait 4 to 6 weeks because they mail the form instead of using the fax priority line. Here's the problem. If you skip the EIN and try to open a US bank account with just your LLC certificate, 9 out of 10 banks will reject you in 2026. Mercury requires an EIN. Relay requires an EIN. Even Wise Business requires an EIN for US LLCs. Without it, you can't get paid, you can't run payroll, and you can't file taxes. The IRS will assign you an EIN automatically when you file your first return, but that's 12 to 18 months away. Here's the exact wording to use when you apply for your EIN without an SSN. On Form SS4 Line 7B, write, for an individual, no SSN or ITIN, applying as responsible party for LLC. On Line 8A, check started new business. On Line 10, write your LLC formation date. On Line 18, write, non-resident alien, no US tax ID, applying for EIN to open business bank account and file Form 5472. Fax it to 855-641-6935. The IRS assigns your EIN in 2 to 3 business days when you use that exact language. Or skip all this and let Bastion Formations do it for you. We've filed over 1,200 EIN applications for non-US founders in 2026. For an individual, no SSN or ITIN, applying as responsible party for LLC. Non-resident alien, no US tax ID, applying for EIN to open business bank account and file Form 5472. Pick Wyoming, Delaware, or New Mexico for low fees and privacy. Get your EIN in 24 hours through Bastion Formations, no SSN needed. Stop searching Reddit. Visit Bastion Formations for done-for-you US LLC setup. If this helped, smash like, hit subscribe, and visit Bastion Formations at bastionformations.com for your Wyoming or Delaware LLC without the SSN headache. Visit https://bastionformations.com.